I have heard today that you visited Imam Hussein and Imam Abbas alayhim salam holy shrines. What do you think about them, and do you know the whole story of وقعة الطف? Alex, I have a question for you. Why did you steal our artifacts? السلام عليكم شباب، هذا الفيديو اليوم جايب لكم فيديو مختلف وجايب لكم ضيف مميز راح نسأله بعض الأسئلة. طبعا ردت أسوي هذه المقابلة ويا محمود وعلاء، بس علاء كان مريض ومحمود كان عنده امتحان، فجايبين ويانا ضيف مميز من خارج العراق من بريطاني اللي هو أليكس. What's up Alex?
Hi, how's it going? I'm very happy to be here.
راح نسأل أليكس كم سؤال يعني عن العراق وشنو التجربة اللي سواها وياه، فخلوكم ويا الفيديو. First, who are you and what the hell are you doing in Iraq in this period of time? I'm just kidding, just introduce yourself in 30 seconds.
It's a very good question.
Yes.
My name's Alex, I'm from the UK. I'm living in Erbil in Kurdistan and took advantage of the recent kind of opening relaxation of the visa rules in federal Iraq to, take a holiday here. So I'm just traveling for a couple of weeks, experiencing the rest of the country.
Now let's get to the real questions, okay? Most of the people around the world, when you ask them about Iraq, it comes to their mind the image of war, of ISIS. In the UK, are there some stereotypes about Iraq, and how do the British people see the Iraqis?
Well, I couldn't speak for all British people because it depends, of course. We're not just one kind of,
Right.
one group of people. But
Right.
I think the broader kind of generalizations in terms of what people would think is that, for example, like most people in Britain, the vast majority wouldn't, when they're considering a holiday, they're not going to think of Iraq. They might think of Lebanon, talking pre-COVID, pre-everything.
Is that because of terrorism or something?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there was a war back in 2003, and there have been, multiple civil wars ensuing since then. And
They have all the
obviously,
right.
even before ISIS emerged, it was not considered a safe place to travel or to come on holiday.
What about now?
Now, definitely not, because the post-conflict kind of context in Iraq is still very much in its infancy, and you still have, obviously, these Iran-linked groups,
Yes.
Hezbollah, operating within federal zones, federal, regions of Iraq,
But it's safer now.
that are causing problems. But unfortunately, a lot of the bad stuff that still happens here, it comes to the forefront of the news as opposed to all of the very positive stuff that's going on in the country, particularly with the younger generation. So no, unfortunately, most people will not come to visit Iraq because they do not feel safe. Even my
you
friends. Yes, but I'm lucky in that I have Iraqi friends in Kurdistan. I live in Erbil. So I have a bit of a picture of, the country and how to travel here.
You see what really is happening.
Yeah, and
It's not that bad actually.
the do's and the don'ts. And of course there are certain risks, but they're very small in the wider context.
We live normally, yes.
Like you're talking kind of, statistical likelihoods. Statistically, how likely is it that something bad will happen to you as a tourist in Baghdad or in Karbala?
You never
or in
faced any
Najaf?
problem or something?
No,
That's
nothing
right.
at all. Nothing at all.
That's good.
I've only been here a week, but no, so far it's been great.
So you said that you're from UK. Have you ever visited London?
I used to live in London for about 8-9 years. So
Okay, that's
yeah.
cool. So you know 221B Baker Street. You know Sherlock Holmes? Have you ever met him? Is he even real?
A lot of questions all in once. No, I haven't met him. No, I don't think he's real. And no, I haven't really even read the books or watched the cartoons or the films or anything. Sorry to disappoint you about that. I'm not as uniquely British as you might think.
Are there
No,
a real house in the Baker Street? I think the 221B Baker Street is a real
I haven't
address.
visited that location
Yes.
personally, but there are plenty of houses in Baker Street.
Alex, I have a question for you. Why did you steal our artifacts? They say that in the British Museum, they have taken our artifacts, our Iraqi artifacts, and that's something. I guess you will not let me go to London and steal Big Ben to come in Iraq.
No,
That's not
that would
fair.
be logistically challenging, but I don't care. You can steal Big Ben. Go for it. Well, any stolen artifact should be returned, of course. Of course, it's yours. It's not ours. And things happened during that period that were not so ethical. But we're we're good at coming to countries and looting them and taking stuff home that we find, that we treasure.
So you're against it?
Apologies for the
Okay.
past.
Apologies accepted. Okay. So after a long trip in Iraq, you said you were here about a year and a half.
I've been living in Erbil for about a year and a half, yeah.
Okay. What do you love about Iraq, and what do you think about Iraqi people?
Well, I mean,
Good thing and bad things.
I've been in Kurdistan, for a year and a half. So what I love about the region, that particular region, is the nature, the mountains, the landscapes. It's a really underrated adventure travel destination. It's got great hiking, great camping opportunities. I have friends who go paragliding sometimes. There are all sorts of cool things you can do at the weekends and escapes from, the city.
What about the
to
people?
really be around nature. The people are extremely nice, warm, welcoming, friendly. All the kind of cliches that you would expect a kind of a Westerner in these countries to say. But they're all from the point of view of an English person. They're all, true.
Have someone treated you bad in Iraq?
Oh, there's a rat.
Yes.
Has
That's
someone-
normal here.
Has someone treated me bad?
Yes.
I mean, I've had a few bad taxi drivers who've driven like maniacs and have ripped me off, but that's probably the worst of it, yeah.
There is a very difficult question here, and I want you to be honest and don't be scared, okay? Have you ever eaten dolma? The Iraqi dolma? And what do
Many-
you think about the traditional food?
Many times, because I have an Iraqi family who I'm very close with in Erbil, who are from Baghdad, and they've cooked it many times. So,
So is
I've
it
been
good
around.
or great or
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love dolma.
you've never eaten dolma in London? That's not possible.
No, I don't have Iraqi friends in London, so I've never had it there. I've never had it anywhere else.
So any other traditional food like باقلة ودهن traditional considered أعتقد
Well, masgouf.
دليمية مسقوف. Yes.
Masgouf is great. I love masgouf.
Which brings us to the next question. There are some rumors around here that says that the first days you entered Iraq, you were thin and skinny, and after 2 weeks you had courage, a big tummy,
Khamil. I'm a khamil.
Yes, you know that?
I'm
That's
extreme.
true? You ate a lot.
I wouldn't say that I was a kind of in prime shape when I arrived,
But you were thin.
there has been a slow kind of outer growth in my stomach as a result of
now
being in this
it's-
country, which
It's in
is
good condition.
which is now metastasizing into something else. And actually, I'm going to be working on dealing with the situation
It's normal
in the summer.
to have a tummy.
Yeah.
You call it a tummy, right?
Yes, you can call it that.
Okay. I have heard today that you visited Imam Hussein and Imam Abbas alayhim salam holy shrines. What do you think about them, and do you know the whole story of واقعة الطف? Where
So I wouldn't say I know the whole story, but I've got the overview. I had some very good guides with me today at the shrines. So, I mean, my impressions were, it was really awe-inspiring. It's, I mean, in one sense, human ingenuity to be able to create these shrines to these fallen men. And in another sense, it shows the kind of the strength of feeling and the kind of the piety of the people, the strength of religiosity in the country.
because he has a real great story. He was defending Islam. Let's say
From Yazid.
Yes, from Yazid, and his family were killed. Yes, that's awful.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to be kind of a real expert on all of this, but just from kind of the surface level experience, it's one of the most beautiful places, religiously, you can say, I guess, that I've seen for
My
a very
friend
long
said
time.
that when you were next to Imam Hussein's shrine in front of it, you said Allahu Akbar, we are amazed.
Did I say that? I don't know what I said. I just said, wow, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just stunning, ornate.
Stunning the shrines
you know,
or the people there. Right?
remarkably beautiful, ornate, everything that you can kind of, there were people crying inside, as I know is normal. But when you walk into religious places, like from my experience, you don't see that kind of depth of feeling.
Yes.
It's not so apparent.
We're
When you
really
walk into a
touched.
church, even when I've walked into a Hindu temple or even other mosques around the world that I've been lucky enough to visit, you never really encounter that kind of depth of feeling, I guess. So yeah, it's.
Yes, I think
it was
because
a
the
stunning
case of
place.
Imam Hussein, it was just very hurtful.
Exactly, and you know the fact that he's commemorated and remembered and memorialized in such a kind of profound way for centuries after he died is kind of testament to, like I say, the depth of feeling that people have for him.
So I get it. Okay, I think that's all we have today. If you want to add something, Alex.
No, just that Iraq is a great country. The people here are fantastic. It's gone through a whole lot of troubles in the recent past, but people are very resilient, and I know it sounds cliched, but there's just an abundance of untold hospitality that I've experienced here on my trip, and engaging conversations. People are funny here. They've got a real good sense of humour, and I would highly recommend that people in some way, even if they just come to the Kurdistan region, would visit, because it's a real adventure and it's a real special place. I'm going to have a lot of great memories from my trip here.
Inshallah. Thank you, Alice. It's been nice to meet you. I hope you get to Britain back alive. Okay?
Inshallah.